Good afternoon. Welcome to the workshop on leadership in a changing situation. I'm a member of the Formation Missional team, and we're the ones who made contact with Pacific School of Religion about its Theological Education for Leadership. I don't want to say any more. I'd rather turn it over to the director of that program, the Reverend Tana Roseborough Marsh.
Thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, or whenever you're joining us. We do appreciate you taking the time to come listen and learn a little bit about the Certificate of Theological Education for Leadership program that we have at Pacific School of Religion at PSR. I am Tana Roseborough, or Reverend Tana Roseborough. We were to have our president of PSR join us, but he's not here at this moment. But at any time that he joins us, we'll just pull back and allow him to give you all a proper PSR welcome. Now, we have a whole lot of goodness. We have a whole lot of information to share with you, and we only have 1 hour to do just that. So here's how to get in contact with me or our team at PSR or in the TEL Center. You can go to our website, psr.edu/centers/TEL, TEL. Again, that is our website at psr.edu/centers/TEL. Once you get to that website, there will be a space where it'll say, I would like to get in contact with the program director. That's me. And you can fill that out and I will get back to you. If you want to go another route, you can also email us at tel@psr.edu. Got that? tel@psr.edu. Great. So right now, I'd like to introduce the Director of Community Engaged Learning at PSR to say hello, welcome, and give you a brief overview of the TEL program. Dr. Joyce Del Rosario.
Hello, everyone. Welcome today. I am the Assistant Professor of the Practice of Ministry and am very excited to be here with you all. A little bit about TEL. The TEL programs provide progressive, accessible Christian theological education year-round through special courses and seminars for clergy, laity, and spiritual seekers from diverse racial and ethnic communities. Using PSR's flexible learning approach, TEL fosters a strong and supportive community environment while enabling participation at a distance through the online learning. All of TEL's offerings are in multicultural and intersectional in design and focus. They are structured to allow you to be engaged at a level that works for you, for your personal spiritual formation, lay leadership training, professional growth, or continuing education. A carefully selected curriculum of online experiences may be engaged individually or part of the certificate program. While rich in context and perspective and taught by instructors with years of academic and leadership experience, these offerings do not require graduate level engagement. Past students have felt challenged and yet met where they are, and more than a few have continued into seminary education and completion of a master's degree program, particularly here at Pacific School of Religion. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you for that welcome. What I want to do now is really go over a little bit about what happens in TEL, what happens with the Certificate of Theological Education for Leadership. But before I do that, our illustrious president has shown up. We are so grateful to have him to join us for a few moments. This is Dr. David Vasquez-Levy, who's coming to give us a brief welcome to the workshop.
Thank you very much, Reverend Tana. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you all. It's exciting to have such a great turnout for our conversation today. I'm grateful certainly to Reverend Tana as well as to Dr. Del Rosario for their leadership and work in helping us to launch this program over the last year. As many of you know, the vision of developing a program of leadership formation that focused specifically on the needs of the communities in Hawaii has been a long-term goal and dream, and one that over the last couple of years has become a reality in this way, drawing on a long history of connection between PSR and Hawaii. Many of you have probably been touched by the lives and ministry of many of our alums who serve on the islands. And now we have the opportunity to continue to raise new alumni in new ways through this program. I'm particularly grateful for those who went through the first cycle of the TEL program and learned with us together. It was an opportunity for just a lot of creativity, lots of new ideas to be brought to the front, but also a lot of adapting in the middle of a pandemic, the loss of a dear colleague for us here at PSR, who was in very many ways the heart and soul of our TEL program. And so I am grateful, certainly to my colleagues here for their work, to the participants, and excited to see how each of you might participate. Our goals for the TEL program are to serve the church, that it has done this over 30 years in various communities. And so to be able to have that work continue in Hawaii, to provide both lay and clergy some common language about what we know as a faith community, from scriptures, from practices of faith, to improve our capacity to serve our communities. And so the biggest gift in this is all of you who are open to participating, the scholars who come to share of their wisdom and their partnership. But I know from those who have gone through the program, whom I'm sure you'll hear from some of them today, is not only the content, but the relationships that are built through this. And our vision, our goal, our dream is that if in about 5 years, we have about 100 graduates from this program in Hawaii, there will be just a strong group of folks who are going to be helping to shape that future for how we go from generation to generation in serving the church. So thank you for this chance to be together.
Thank you, Dr. Vasquez. Appreciate those wonderful words. For those of you who are looking again on how to reach us, you can reach us again. It's in the chat at psr.edu/centers with an S /TEL, or TEL, TEL at psr.edu. And before I go into the next part, if you have any questions at this time, anything that you would like to ask, please ask right away in chat. We may answer it as we go along. You may want to reach out and we'll talk about it one-on-one, or we may can answer it right here. Hopefully we'll have some question and answer time at the end of this workshop. So please, at any moment, just let us know what's on your mind. What are you thinking? What are your questions? And we'll try to answer those either here or one-on-one. Okay, great. If you're just joining me again, I am Reverend Tana Roseborough. I'm the Program Director for the TEL Center at PSR. Now, completion of the Certificate of Theological Education for Leadership requires a few things: participation in 1 orientation session, 2 seminar sessions, and 11 courses. Each course meets for 2 Zoom sessions, and they are 3 hours each, with some reading and some online work in between. The courses are introductory and prepare for diverse learners, so don't be worried. If you've been out of school for a minute, it's okay. We got you. If you just want to get in there and you're just maybe a little nervous or nerve that you might not be able to catch up, we have you. Our professors are ready to work with learners wherever they are. So come and join us. Again, each course meets for 2 Zoom sessions, 3 hours each. They're introductory and prepared for you wherever you are. The courses include, we have some great courses that are coming up. The courses include the history of Christianity, Christian education, self-care, and mental health will be a seminar this year. Old Testament and New Testament survey with biblical interpretation in the middle. We have contemplative and Christian spirituality, Christian worship, intro to preaching. Yes, you too can preach. and give a good word. Introduction to Pastoral Care and Introduction to Christian Ethics. Those are just a few of the courses and seminars that we will offer over this 2022-2023 season. It will start in August with an orientation session. That orientation session is about an hour to an hour and a half where you will meet with me and some of PSR community and family. You will meet some of the professors, a few of the professors that are able to join us during that time. You will also be invited not just to participate within the TEL program, but to participate within the PSR family, to join us perhaps as you are able in the chapel time or some other community time as you will, but you'll be able to meet hopefully the community director, Pastor Ann, and some of the other family members of PSR, and just take full advantage of just being a part of this community. The seminars, you only have 2 seminars. They both are in December. The seminars meet only one time, and they are 3 hours and may require some reading before the session. We have some highly accomplished, as Dr. Del Rosario has spoken of, we have highly accomplished professors and community leaders. As I said, I'm kind of excited and a little bit stoked myself to join you all in a couple of the courses that are coming, and particularly New Testament and biblical interpretation. We have some great community leaders that just love to teach. I was contacted today with one of our last professors that will be joining us, Dr. Barbara Essex, a wonderful author of Bad Girls of the Bible, who will be coming in to work with us this particular session. So we have great community leaders, professors that have been teaching for years, that love what they do and will take wonderful care of you as a student. The orientation session, like I said, we'll launch this certificate program in August 13th, where you get also to know the Moodle program, which is the classroom program of the TEL program. So within that session, you will get to see what Moodle looks like, how to operate Moodle, and ask some other questions so that you will be ready to start off this program. What else do I want to say? TEL, it's a fabulous program for lay leaders. It supports training and forming leaders for the church. At the completion of the certificate, you will be invited to participate in the graduation commencement service at PSR. We had 2 that were able to participate with us this time. Miss Linda and Miss Roxanne were able to join us in California and not only march, but actively participate in the service at PSR. So hopefully Miss Linda will be able to tell you a little bit more about that when she speaks. We have a panel that as you're asking questions, please ask questions, but we have a panel that is with us today that as we ask questions and talk a little bit more about what happens with the CTEL program and their experience with the program. Oh, great. There's a picture of the graduating Linda and Roxanne with the TEL staff and a couple of the teachers. If you look to the far left, we have Dr. David Vasquez-Levy that's standing behind Roxanne in the white and yellow flowers. We have Dr. Sharon Jacobs, who will be joining us this time for New Testament and biblical interpretation. I can't tell you, I'm like super stoked because I'm if I did not share with you, I am a 2018 MDiv graduate of PSR, and she was coming in as I was going out. So I'm super excited to sit in on her classes. We have Dr. Isaiah Young. We have Miss Linda there in the beautiful purple and pink flowers. Dr. Joyce and myself, they were able not to just come in and again march, but they had spoken pieces and spoken words to say and be active within this graduation class. So without further ado, I want to introduce the panel who will be speaking, and I'm actually going to allow them to introduce themselves. We have Karen Linda, Tiffany. Am I missing someone that's here? And they're going to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their experience in TEL. We'll start with Carolyn, then Linda, and then Tiffany.
Thank you, Reverend Tana. Most of you know who I am, but I will remind you all, I'm an attorney that's trying to retire and not being very successful at it. But when the TEL program came along, it also offered me an opportunity to try to do the work that I do with a Christian background and sort of a Christian view of things. So I embarked on that course, even though I had a busy schedule, and I can tell you that it is a demanding course, but you can make it fit your schedule. And I know some of us were running back and forth to get onto our Zoom classes and to get the materials done over time, but it's still very, very rewarding. I found, as Dr. Vasquez-Levy said, that you get to understand the language of Christianity better. I do a lot of work with churches and with associations and with the conferences, a lot of legal work. I've also helped on the governance end of thing. And we can do all that legal work, but we can't always bring with us sort of a mindset and a foundation in Christ. And so I was looking for that. And so the common language was helpful. The instructors were all extremely patient with us. And we covered a lot of material that most of us lay folk were not familiar with, but certainly help to put the pieces together for shaping our understanding, or a better understanding of how we might approach what we do in our lives with that Christian background and setting. So all of that information was wonderful. In the beginning of our coursework, our Maui cohort, that is all of the folks from Maui that participated in the TEL program, would have a Zoom call once a week. And I found that to be helpful, not just knowing how what other people were thinking, but also how they looked at the questions and what they were thinking about and responding. And you got to know people quite well in terms of their background, what they were bringing to the table. So all of that is to say that there are benefits that Reverend Tana hasn't even told you about that can come out of the program. And I enjoyed my time there. I learned a lot, and I'm hoping to use a lot of it as we go along. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I appreciate what you had to share. And I do want you all to know that the courses are designed, again, for diverse learners. Our professors are professors of graduate students, but they also are professors of community learners. I love what Hawai done in those between times when you're not meeting face-to-face, is to meet together to discuss some of the work, to discuss what's happening. You will have coursework in between those face-to-face times, and it's a great time to meet together, to talk together over the program and what is going on within your class. So thank you. Yes, Dr. Joyce.
Reverend Tana, we have a great question that might, it's sort of on the tail end of Caroline's wonderful share. What about adult learners who don't have much formal education, like nothing beyond high school classes and no college or university training? Is this still an appropriate place where they can also learn and engage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I say diverse learners, I do mean from high school graduates on and above. This is the coursework is made and designed for community, wherever community is, wherever community lies on the education level. It is made for church leaders, laity, it is made for you wherever you are. We are clear that in TEL program, this may be, and if this may be your first step into moving on to further, this is not the first time. We've had several people to come out of the TEL program and find themselves into a graduate program because this type of learning is engaging, it is exciting, and it meets you right where you are. You are not much more than a high school learner. I encourage you, as a previous teacher myself in public schools in the US, this is made for you. This is created for you. Okay, so come join us. Yes.
Reverend Tana, just to jump in, the students need to let the teachers know, the instructors know, if something becomes overly challenging, because they have been very willing to back up a few spaces or to send you to resources or other areas that might be able to help. So you need to do your part in terms of letting the instructors know where you are or what challenges you're facing.
That is awesome advice. That the professors, and if you want to talk before it all starts, to talk about the challenges you may have. There may be some other resources, or I can also allow professors to know maybe what some other challenges you have. And that's also available as well. Thank you. Ms. Linda.
If the school can note, let the students know what books are coming up for discussion. Because when we got into some of the classes, I went to the library and they didn't have it. And I ordered online, it never came. But just one book came, and it was about discussing the Bible. So maybe an early advancement on the books that will be needed for the course.
There should not be any books that are needed for the courses. Everything that you should need for any of the courses should be available within the syllabus via PDF. You should not need to order any books for CTEL at all. And if there are, I'll speak to the professors because you should not need to order anything. Would you like to tell us about your experience, Linda?
Yes. First of all, I wanted to say mahalo to PSR for allowing us to attend the classes. My part at the end was giving the ritual of acknowledgement, and I participated in it with Darnell, and it was such a pleasure to be standing there and giving what was written for us to say, but yet feeling the pain that they went through, standing on holy ground. You know, it just meant a lot to me. Look, I'm still tearing. It meant a lot to me to be standing there for the people of the area, of the state, and to express what was given me and sharing myself. I also participated in the choir. When they asked, of course, I'm going to sing. I want to sing too. So the song we sang was Dry Bones. And in the beginning, I mean, I knew that song growing up because I was part of our choir at church and then the choral at school. So I knew that song, but I didn't know the depth of the song. So in singing it and seeing the words in front of you, even Dan said, wow, I didn't know it was regarding God. And I said, well, yes, it does. And I said, and I also didn't know, but it was such a pleasure to be in the actual grounds where the school is located in the area. But thank you so much for allowing us to fly over to California and be a part of the graduating class. The question that we had in here was how do we equip people for leadership in the church when constant changes is challenging and the way we have done things in the past no longer seems to work. For me, it is to be available when he calls. Stop what you're doing, where you're at, and follow like the many disciples did when he called to serve him. And then finally picking the 12 to journey with him. And to have time out for ourselves, reflecting on the challenges in our state, our country, and the world. What is going on? Drugs, guns, murders. Where are we? So I'm happy to say that I will be a part of it, to journey the journey, to be a leader in our congregation, in our community, and to move forward to helping those that need the help. I learned from many years ago that you teach the little ones because they don't know anything. So you invested into their mind, like my mom did, where we used to go Sunday school, and she used to have, those boards with the black material, and you stick the picture on the black material and tell the stories. So from that, I learned, and that's why I'm where I am today, because of her, from teaching me and instilling it within the 15 of her children to learn and to know who he is. So I'm really happy that PSR, when I looked at our program, our bulletin, church bulletin, and I seen the announcement of PSR having that class. And as soon as church was over, I just jumped up and ran over to Kahu Mick and told him, I'm interested. I wanna be a participant, be a student. And he was happy too that I joined in. So I just have so much appreciation for PSR, for being there for all of us that from Hawaii, and for us to learn and to journey and know more about the journeys of everyone that was involved to where they are today and where we are today. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you so much for that powerful and enriching testimony of your experience. We are so grateful that we had the opportunity to meet you, that you were able to join in the choir and participate in the graduation program. And for whatever your next moves going forward, I know that you will be great. Again, PSR TEL is designed with you wherever you are in your education level, wherever you are in your Christian formation, your spiritual formation journey. TEL is designed to enrich, enhance, and support you wherever you are. Again, if you want to find out more information after this workshop is over, you can reach us at psr.edu/centers with an S on the end /TEL, or you can email me at tel@psr.edu, and I'm Reverend Tana Roseborough. We have one more testimony, I believe, which is Tiffany, to tell us about her experience with TEL.
Thank you, Reverend Tana. My name is Tiffany Marati. I am from Kauai, and I attend Koloa Union Church. I like to kind of say that I was born and raised there at the church. I am 4th generation at Koloa Union Church, and if there's any kupuna here, they probably all know, a lot of them knew my grandfather, Raymond Duvichel. So I'm a proud product of him, I want to say. But my experience my experience with TEL, growing up, I would in some ways deliver some messages at the church and or just go up and say a few words at church, and many people in the past have always told me that I should go into ministry. For me, I did not believe that that is what I was called to do, so I kind of took the more education route. I went into education. This program came up, and Kahu āina kind of, came up to me and was like, Tiff, I think this is a very, great opportunity for you. You get to explore a little bit more. Basically, he said it was going to help me deliver my messages better at church. And I was like, oh, I kind of pondered on it just because I do work 3 other jobs, so for me, it was just kind of trying to figure out where I was going to find time to just do the work, just to participate in all of this. After praying and really thinking about it, talking with family and friends, I decided to jump in. It was not easy, but kind of like what Caroline said earlier, if you are struggling, let the professor know, because they are willing to make adjustments. I did not have the opportunity like Caroline to kind of get into a hui, a little group that met, weekly. We tried on Kauai, but it was more of a event session than it was more productive to really, but it was helpful, at times when we were very frustrated. But I did get through the courses. I am proud of myself. And through this, I now want to go into youth ministry. So being as a lay leader, for a generation person, I want to take my next step and, look further into being, going into the youth ministry through this. So I want to say thank you.
Come on now. That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Tiffany, let me encourage you. Go do it. Go do it. It's already within your heart. It's already around you. You've taken some tremendous steps in completing the Certificate of Theological Education for Leadership because you were already a leader, and you just took the courses to shape and form you even the more for the next steps in your life. From Tiffany, Caroline, and Linda, you hear what we have experienced within the TEL program before, is that students who take this come in and they begin to listen even more, hear even deeper the next steps and begin to form where their next movements are. So that is absolutely wonderful, Tiffany, that you will be looking farther into youth ministry. I know there's some others that will be going out full deep into the MDiv program and working on graduate level and becoming an MDiv. Just whichever way it supports your ministry wherever your ministry is and supports you into the next steps of your ministry. I saw you, Joyce. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Sure. I should have waited. Whenever you're ready for Q&As, we've got lots of great questions popping up.
Okay, great. I just want to say thank you all each for what you had to share. Again, the TEL offerings are multicultural and intersectional in their design and focus. They are designed for you, wherever you are, wherever you are. They're structured to allow you to be engaged at the level that works for you, for your personal spiritual formation, for your lay leadership training, for professional growth, and or for continuing education. TEL is created for the community to work and learn together. Let's go ahead with the questions, Dr. Joyce.
Sounds good. We do have a question about the connection between UCC and PSR, and will there ever be a offering of UCC history and polity? And I might actually field that one to Dr. Vasquez-Levy.
Exactly, that's where I thought it was going.
Yeah, so the TEL program has historically focused on various communities. The particular cohort in Hawaii has been developed in partnership with the Hawaii Conference and thanks to the support of UCC congregations and individuals there. So definitely our commitment is strong with our community in the UCC in Hawaii. As many of you know, PSR is a UCC seminary, and so we have that commitment. We do teach our polity course at PSR on a regular track. And so I think we have had some conversations with the conference about specific seminars that might be offered that wouldn't be the full length of the polity course, which is a 3-credit graduate level course, which we offer regularly, and it is available online. So somebody could always take that course, but it would be at the graduate level. So for the TEL program, what we have discussed is that in the future, as the program begins to run and there is a group of folks who have participated in it, that the possibility is there to create specific seminars that respond to the needs of the community. We had some conversations with the foundation, with the UCC Hawaii Foundation, about maybe partnering to offer some conversations around administration of congregations, things like that. So I think the possibilities are there for that. We don't currently have UCC polity on the schedule. So that would probably begin with a conversation with the conference for what the need is, and are there enough students that would find that valuable. So we certainly could identify somebody to teach it. So.
Thank you. We have another question. Are the sessions available online to be viewed at any time, or do you have to be present at each session? And that one, I think I can move to Tana. Yeah.
Say the question again.
Are the sessions available online to be viewed at any time, or do you have to be present at each session?
You will need to be present at each session. I think that was the question. Yes, and the courses are offered. The face-to-face time will be the first and the third session that each course are 4 weeks long. The FaceTime are the first and the third. Yes, you will need to be present and ready to chime in and work with your cohort, of course. Was there any other parts of that question? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, let me, if I can ask again, just clarification. So every first and third Saturday of the month, there'll be a face-to-face 3-hour time with the class. And then any other coursework outside of that is offline when you're available. Great.
Absolutely. That is it. Thank you.
So that's 6 hours total of face-to-face time on Zoom. Great. Thank you.
Yes.
Can I add something to that?
Oh, go ahead.
So I think depending on the professors, there were times where the professors did an extra session with us. So depending how much we were struggling or whatnot, sometimes the professor would, midweek on Wednesday or something would do another session just to help us out. So just kind of keep that open. Those are a little bit more optional, but they were helpful.
There will also, thank you, Tiffany. There will also be times like in the intro to preaching class, if the professor want you all to practice with preaching, there will be some optional times there where you may have an additional time. But the classes are that meet time will be those 2 sessions, which will be the first session and the third session, or the first Saturday and the third Saturday will be face-to-face Zoom time, 3 hours.
And please feel free to continue to add questions on the chat or the
Yes,
question.
if you have any questions that you want to ask here while we have a few more moments to answer questions, you can do that. If you want to ask me questions personally, you can email tel@psr.edu or go to the website. Right now, our class schedule is up. I don't think we have all our professors listed, but our first 2 are listed. We have Dr. Bernie Schlager, who will be teaching history of Christianity, and Michael Campos, that will be teaching Christian education.
So we have another question here. So the course list at psr.edu are all open for a Hawaii cohort. The course list on the TEL page. So for this certificate program, the course is listed on the TEL page. The courses given by PSR to the degree students is a different program. So I wanted to differentiate that, but they're all open to the Hawaii cohort. We
Mhm.
encourage you to take, oh yeah, the TEL page. We encourage you to take the whole certificate and take all the classes, or if you'd like, you can pick whichever classes suit you best and the timing that works best. And I think, Reverend Tana, can you tell us about how long it might take for them to do the certificate?
The certificate program is designed for 1 year. So it starts August 2022. It ends August 2023. However, if you're finding that you may need to bow out of one session or another session, a couple of sessions, and may need to extend that for 2 years, you are eligible to do that as well for the certificate program. If you that are listening may find that you just want to take a few of the courses, I suggest take the whole certificate, but if you do want to take a few of the courses, you're also eligible to do that as well.
And with that, what's the basic financial cost of the whole certificate or the individual? You can find these on the TEL page, but I'm going to go ahead and ask Reverend Tana anyway.
Okay, the full cost is $2,095. I was looking this for the one worksheet that I do not have up on my screen. It's $2,095 for Hawaii. We have waived a couple of things for you. So I don't think you will see your price listing on the website. You will need to contact me. But the total cost for the 11 courses and the 2 workshops, 2 seminars, and the 1 orientation is $2,095. You can pay that in one hit, one time. You could also pay that in installments, 4 installments. We also ask or may suggest, and please tell me how this goes, Joyce, that if there's some other things that you may want to speak with your church to see if your church can support you, or somehow how I believe that's right, how the church can support you. Is that right?
Yes, with the UCC churches in Hawaii, actually, maybe I should put this over to Dr. Vasquez-Levy to make sure that we don't misquote.
Yeah, no, that's great. So again, the cost of TEL and making it possible is a partnership with the conference, and that's why the cost is lower than what it actually costs to operate it, and so our goal is to make it as affordable as we can. And as Tana has said, that's, for a full year of coursework, it will be the $2,000, or you can do one course at a time, which is the $225 per course. But as Dr. Rosario was just pointing out, and many of you may be familiar with this, a lot of the congregations in Hawaii recognize the need for leadership. If some of you are serving in a congregation, I think your community would be more than eager. I think many communities have both the capacity and the willingness to help support individuals. We have had folks who have participated in this program as well as in our full master's degrees who have received financial aid support from their congregations or other congregations on the islands. And so even if your own congregation doesn't have those resources, it's worth checking with the associations to see if there are other congregations. A number of congregations have endowments set up for theological education. And the reality is that a lot of those funds, at least from my conversations with some of the congregations that hold those endowments, often go unused. There's always information in the coconut wire about options and congregations that have financial availability or financial support for those studying theological education at different levels. So I would encourage you to do that. So if the cost of it is a barrier to you, we encourage you to talk to your congregation, talk to the community there, and reach out to us. We might be able to help you identify a contact person to reach out to as well. Our goal is to ensure that you're able to take the program and participate and learn and be prepared.
The next question is this a Hawaii?
Oh, hold on one second. Linda, did you have something to add to that?
Yes, I wanted to say that the Kauai Association of the United Church of Christ helped us to pay a portion of our schooling. We would pay and then they would reimburse us after 3 months. So yeah, the association did help for our schooling. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mahalo, Linda. Thank you. Another question, is this a Hawaii only group or is it integrated into a broader group?
This will be integrated into a broader group.
Yeah.
Yes,
So there's some
Caroline.
cross learning that'll happen and oh, did Carolyn have something to say to that?
I just wanted to contribute that in our particular group, we did have someone from South Korea joining us. And in a couple of the classes, we had a fellow who at one time was in California, and then another time he was out on the East Coast, but he needed to make up those classes. So when Reverend Tana was talking about having to take additional class or take the class in a separate year, as the second year, that's where he was coming from. He could not make his other one. So there are times in which you may encounter people from outside of the state of Hawaii, but for the most part, we were all from the state.
You all were, if I'm not mistaken, the first cohort of the iteration was designed specifically with Hawaii in mind. And so it was mostly students from the state of Hawaii. This time, we do know that there are the students that were previously in the TEL program and would like to complete their degree. There may be some other organizations that may join in from time to time. We get those type of questions about, are the courses up and available? So there will be times that there will be more than Hawaii in a course.
This next question, I'm going to field if that's okay. Are there any of the TEL credits transferable? Like if someone decides to complete the certificate later or do another program in the future. So once you complete the TEL certificate, the entirety of it, that can count towards 3 credits of a class, 3 credits of a program if you're enrolled in a master's program at Pacific School of Religion. I don't know that I could say anything about it being transferable anywhere else, but because we know and have vetted our own instructors and our own curriculum, we can do that. So that's 3 credits would be equivalent to like 1 full class, 1 semester long class at PSR. So you'd already have a little running start in your program were you to decide to matriculate into a master's degree program from there.
And that would be 3 credits towards an elective, is that correct?
Yes, that'll be elective credits.
Okay. So
do we have registration deadlines? That's another question that came up.
our registration deadlines registration will end August 13th for this cohort.
Great. There's a question about a sample syllabus. Is it possible to see any sample syllabi for the courses?
At this time, no. The professors are still updating the syllabus, the syllabi that will come up for starting in August. They're still updating.
I will say, again, please, I encourage you to reach out to Reverend Tana and ask all those questions, and she can provide you with a little, especially as we go closer down the line, we'll be able to provide you with some more information. Is registration open now, Tana? I believe it's
Yes.
up on the website and registration is open now.
Registration is open now. Remember that Hawaii is what we call a community-specific group. So some of the things, pricing in particular, that you will see on the website is not for Hawaii. You have a different pricing, and we can provide that for Hawaii CTEL students.
And it looks like there's, so for those of you who've already taken TEL classes, please feel free to share with the rest of the groups here your experiences, also, you know, any syllabi or coursework that you may have done. It may not, you know, it'll vary, of course, with class to class and professor to professor, but at least we can give each other a good idea of what the classes are like. Do we have other questions that I may have missed? I think.
Do any students who took a course have a syllabus they can send me? Okay. If you all as previous students want to share with some of the other students that are asking if you know them, please do it. Please share your experience with the syllabus. The syllabus will be designed or is designed again to look at those 4 weeks, what topics you're going to cover, what questions, what reading, what video, how to respond. You will do all of your responses in Moodle. Moodle is a classroom platform, which I will go over in August with you. Yes, that's that. Again, like I said, if you want to talk to me more private or explain a little bit more, we can arrange to have some time and I can give you about 30 minutes where we can just discuss how the TEL program is set up, what you will need, about how many hours a week. I think about 2 or 3 hours, maybe a week in between time for you to do some readings, for you to answer the syllabus, to answer in the Moodle, to respond, however the professors set those up. Again, the professors know who you are. They already know that you are community leaders and you're coming with various experiences of life, and they are willing to work with you. Every single professor that I had that has responded to me is like, yeah, I'll be glad to teach. They love to teach. They love to teach. Every single one of them. The last one today, she's like, yes, because that's just what they do. They enjoy teaching. They enjoy teaching learners, just willing participants that's coming in to learn and to participate in this particular course. So wherever you are, CTEL is designed for you. Did you have something else to say, Joyce?
We don't have any other questions. Okay, yeah, I was just looking. I think maybe unless you had a wrap up, I was going to see if the panelists had any last words they want to say, but I'll hand it to you.
I have
a
last word. With this course, it has moved me to be a better leader in church. So because of that, I am applying for scholarships to return to PSR. I want to end up with my Master of Divinity. So I know there's the certificate of spirituality and social change that I need to do. And then there's another class before I can get the Master of Divinity, which is a 3-year course. So yeah, I'm going into it. I'm charging. And if he could tap me 80 years and do the call for me, I guess he'll keep me another 80 years. Hopefully I'm fine. But yes, I am very excited to continue my education with PSR and to finally receive my Master of Divinity. Yeah.
I'm excited for your journey, Linda. Caroline or Tiffany, do you have any last words you'd like to share?
I would just encourage anyone that's interested in learning more about how you can impact your church in a leadership role to take the course, to take the courses that are in this program. Regardless of how you use it down the road, it will help you to grow in your spiritual journey and really be a contributing factor to how you lead your life within the church and outside of the church as well. So I would encourage you to look into it, at least give it a shot. Thanks.
Thank you. Tiffany?
Ditto what Caroline said. I mean, like I said, shared, like I wasn't, like going for it, in the very beginning was kind of, I had to really think about it. But after doing it, I mean, it really changes your perspective on a lot of things. It made me understand so much more. And even just like how Caroline said, the way you present yourself, the way you kind of go on in life, it's just different,
Great, thank you. We celebrate your experiences, each of you who graduated, who are here on the panel, and those who are watching. We celebrate you and what you have done to complete your certificate of Theological Education for Leaderships, to enhance, to sharpen, and to build up your work in ministry, your work wherever your work is in ministry. You're not just a lawyer, Miss Caroline, that's behind a computer looking at law. You are a leader who can now stretch out even farther within your ministry. Miss Linda, who is moving farther in her work, as well as Tiffany, who's moving farther in our ministry for Christ. And that's what we are here to do, is to support you where you are in ministry, where you are in leadership, where you are in your church, to help be a better leader for today and tomorrow, to encourage someone else in this walk in Christ that we are all doing in life. That's what we do at TEL, in the Theological Education for Leadership. We are going to close out. Thank you so much. Again, if you want to reach out and get more information to learn a little bit more, you can reach me at TEL at PSR, TEL at PSR.edu. Or check out our website. Our registration is open. Our information is open. We're putting up more things every few days. We have every single one of our courses have a professor attached to it. We know who's teaching. We know who's coming along. The syllabus are dated and created just for you. You can reach that or see that at psr.edu/centers/TEL. I'm Reverend Tanner. I hope to see you. I hope to see you in the registration. I hope to see you in the classes and in everything. If I could support you in any way, please reach out to me. I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you for joining us. Good night or goodbye.